Good morning. I am Sherry Scott. I am founder and principal architect at Springhouse Architects. I recently, in 2020, started Springhouse Structures, which is our building arm for residential projects. And this is Springhouse Collaborative, where I'm inviting people to join me, anyone, not just Springhouse clients, but anyone that is involved in considering a brand new home, a new construction home, or if you're in the middle of it and you're looking for some answers. I welcome everyone. Today I would like to talk about site selection. We're going to talk about when to select it, what's important, what you need to keep in mind, where some of the pitfalls are, and things that I've seen in my experience from clients of mine and things we've worked through. So I will tell you a few stories along the way. So let's talk about when to select a site first. I know you have this great vision of a home, right? That's why we're in this process, is to create a home that you love. In order to do that, you need a site. You need somewhere to build. Right now, it's a strange kind of world, at least here in the Midwest where we are, where in 2008 there was so much land and people were developing all the time because of the huge boom and the huge bubble. And when the bottom fell out and everyone went away, all the development stopped. Now we've kind of gobbled, the business is back and people are building and everyone has gobbled up all of the available developed lots. Now we're looking at a situation where people are hungry for developed lots to build on. That's where we are right now, in our area anyway. I'd be interested to hear if it's different in your area. I'd love to hear your perspective on that. So when to choose a lot, from my perspective, being a residential architect, I really like helping people choose their site. I like it because, as you'll hear later, there are so many things that have to do with the design of the home based on what site you choose. Just high-level things, cost, the additional cost for some different things going on in the lot, and the biggest thing, and I'll come back to this, is sun orientation. I don't know how many clients I have had regret the lot that they chose because of sun orientation. We'll get into that. So when to choose it, obviously it's early on. A lot of people do actually choose a site and hold on to it for a couple of years. So obviously you will have that site already before you go to an architect to design a home. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There are a lot of, if you're doing a custom home, there are a lot of different things we can do to design to the lot that you have. Ideally, though, you would engage an architect or designer or builder before you choose the lot. And there are a number of reasons for that. I'll go through a couple of the things. So everyone knows location, location, location. And that is it's a common term because it's real and it holds weight, right? It's that's what we all know, and that's what we all agree on, that location is very important. Amenities, how close you are to grocery store, things like that, school systems, where you are in your life, and what amenities you want, what location you want to be in. Something to think of that most people have a very firm grasp on is what level of privacy and what lifestyle do you want. What I mean by that is, do you want neighbors? within 10 feet of you? Do you want to be able to say hi when you're taking out the garbage? Or do you want to be out on 20 acres and you don't mind driving 30 minutes in to get groceries? That's what I'm talking about, privacy, lifestyle decisions. Everyone, either you're kind of one person or you're the other. A lot of people have that, you know that. A couple of things that clients I've worked with haven't thought of when looking for a site. Number one is there a builder tied to the lot? What happens in developments is sometimes an unencumbered developer will develop a building site. When that happens, they get to decide in their covenants, they get to decide who builds in there, because they own the land, they're selling the land, and they may say, bring your own builder. You'll see that on signs sometimes, bring your own builder. That means pretty much anybody can build there. More commonly, where I am, developers will develop the lot, and either it's a builder that has developed the neighborhood or a developer that has association with builders, or they know the high-end builders that they want in there. They know the quality of homes they want in that neighborhood, so they will have what's called a closed builder list. That's one of the things you need to ask very early on when you're looking for lots. Drive through a neighborhood, call if there's an HOA, if there's a developer, there's going to be a realtor, somebody's going to know that, and that's one of your first questions. Are there builders tied to this lot? Is there a closed builder list? The third option are lots for sale that builders own outright and they hold it. We at Springhouse Structures, we have a lot in Springboro that, we own the lot. If somebody calls me and says they want to build a house there, but they have a builder, I would say, no, thank you. we that's our lot and we want to build there. So we are, that's the third option, is if it's a builder owned lot and you have much less option there to get around bringing your own builder. But you could still pursue it. If it's the perfect lot for you, call the builder. They may be ready to get rid of that lot and they may sell it to you outright. There are always options. I touched on covenants, and covenants is where they would define that it's a closed builder list. Covenants have been a stumbling point for me through my career. If you follow Springhouse, you'll see that we're in the Midwest, near Cincinnati, kind of between Dayton and Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're more on the modern side. It seems like our clients that find us that are looking for custom home tend to be more on the modern side. It's a trend now, and I think it's not going away. More minimalism, clean line. We do design every style because I believe that architectural design has to do with scale and proportion, not necessarily how you finish a railing or how many columns you have. And so with covenants, we've had several clients. One last year in particular, she was a super cool client, a graphic artist. She came to us. She had a very specific house that she wanted, house style. We designed it. We were all in love with it. We took it after preliminary design. You have to submit it for approval to the HOA because they do have rules, and their rules, sometimes they're very vague, and they say things like you have to have a minimum 612 roof pitch. Well, that's pretty steep for a modern home. It's not. It's perfect for traditional architecture. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with having a 612, 1012, 1212 pitch. But this particular client wanted pretty close to a flat roof. So the HOA, in all of their own right and authority, they turned it down. We redesigned it into a super steep pitch. We kind of kept the floor plan and redesigned the house so that it ended up a very vertical design. And again, we all fell in love with it, and we thought, okay, now we have, it's still a modern home, but we have checked off everything off of their itemized list, all of the roof pitch, the materials, the siting the house where it sits on the lot. We checked all the boxes, and we turned it in, and they still rejected it. All still within their right. That is written in the covenants, that they have the right to accept or reject any design. That client ended up taking that second design and buying a new lot, and it worked out. She has a beautiful setting in a neighborhood that's truly a unique neighborhood that welcomes different designs. They still have their covenants too, but they were more open to non-traditional architecture. So look at the covenants, understand them. If you can, if there are people already living in that neighborhood, I would drive around and say, hey, how did your process go? There's one neighborhood that we've designed several houses. We're probably up to 6 houses now that are a little bit more modern. We kind of all ended up in that neighborhood because they accept different things. But then one house that we designed, the owner, the developer who controls everything, he said no. And we redesigned the house, and then he approved it. But sometimes it's not fair. And you just kind of have to roll with the punches. And if you have a good designer, if you have a good architect you're working with, you can redesign and still have a very beautiful home and meet their requirements. My point here, saying understand that before you own a lot, because you don't want to get stuck with a lot. You don't want to have to try to find another lot once you've fallen in love with it and you know that's the spot for you. The second thing that my clients do not think about, and it is one of the highest priorities for me as an architect, is sun orientation. When I'm designing a house, it means everything. How you live, how you want the sun to move through your house during the day. Are you daytime people? Are you nighttime people? Do you wake up with the sun? Do you always get up and leave before the sun even rises? Do you want your master bedroom on the eastern side? Typically, more private rooms are to the back of a house, and more public rooms are to the front of the house, obviously facing the street where people can maybe see in, where you're walking around and laying on the couch and hanging out watching TV, you don't want them looking right in the windows, right? So if you want, my absolute favorite sun orientation for the rear of the house is south-southeast. What that does for me, and this is just my living, how I like to live, I like to see the sun move all day long. So a southern orientation is going to give you the most sun during the day, and you can see it moving all the way across. Hi, Kelly. And having it turn just a little bit toward the east gives me morning sun. And I like waking up with the sun. I like sleeping in until the sun comes up, which is a little tough this time of year in January. But when you're headed a little bit more toward the east, and especially if you design your master bedroom to go on the eastern side, then you're going to get that morning light. Some clients have said it's more important to me for my kids to get eastern light so that they're waking up with the sun, more of a natural rhythm. And so there's no wrong orientation, just please be aware of it. One client I had, She had bought the lot. She held on to it for 2 years. She bought the second lot beside her for her mother. They were committed. They were staying in this on this lot. But she wanted her house full of sun all day long, all of the public spaces, all her bedroom. She wanted everything. But the back of her house faced north, like full north. She was not getting a ray of sunshine in that house at all. So we ended up designing a house. I wish I could share my screen with you guys sometimes, but I can't. So we ended up designing a house where it was long and thin. So we got sun from the front that came through. And then we took the family room and turned it kind of on an angle so that it at least gathered the western sun and some of the southern sun on that angle. And it ended up being a beautiful space. It was not what she thought it would be, but through design, we made it work, and it's one of my favorite houses actually, and she's very happy there. Those are my two big things that my clients don't think of very often. I'm going to save this for a whole other live where we talk about costs of lot, because there's so many things that factor into how much your house costs, and it has a lot to do with the lot that you choose. And if you choose a lot that's going to be expensive to build on for clearing of trees and underbrush, needing additional structure, getting rid of water, cost of retaining walls. There are just so many things that can ramp up the cost of building a house. And if you know that before you buy the lot, I'm becoming a broken record, but all of this needs to be figured out before you buy the lot so that you know where you are and you're starting from a really good place. Even if you choose a lot that you know you have design considerations to do, you know that you're going to have some additional expenses, at least you know it and you're going into it planning for that. So if you have any questions about site selection, if you're in that process now, if you want to ask, post in the group. That's what this group is here for. Please do invite anyone that you think would benefit from this talk and benefit from being able to ask questions and get answers not only from me, but also from other people that have been through this. That would be great. I would love to have as many people here as we can. So please invite people to the group Springhouse Collaborative, and we can talk to them too. I think next week I am going to talk about, I'm so excited, I'm going to talk about custom options. I'll go through some of the things that some of my past clients and current clients are working through. Today, I'm super excited. I get to go with a current client, the one we're building for right now. We designed the house, we're building it now, and we're having our weekly construction meeting together today. And I have scheduled a custom concrete countertop contractor to come in and meet the client, and then after that we are going to meet an artist friend of my clients. We're going to go meet an artist that is going to design a steel front door. We're going to do double 3-foot by, I think they're 8-foot. They might be 10-foot tall doors. I think we're doing solid 3-foot by 10-foot tall front doors. And he's a steel artist, and he's going to design a custom front door for this client. And I get to go and talk to him and meet him and work through and kind of share our vision for the house, and bring in another artist, which is very exciting for me. I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope you have a great week. I didn't say Happy New Year. It's the new year. I'm excited for 2021. It's a little bit of a rocky start out there in the world, but we'll get through it, and it's going to be a great year. So take care, and we will talk next week. Bye.